Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for a little bit of a late start tonight, but we've managed to make it a full 40 episodes in. So, welcome to Vampire the Masquerade. This game is titled Detroit by Night, The Motor City Broke Down. Episode 40, Camarilla. Now, we left off at a very interesting point. The first Elysium held in Detroit. First true acknowledged Elysium. Well, I'm sure there's been several gatherings that didn't require somebody dying. Oh wait, somebody did. But the fact of the matter is right now, in the aftermath of, well, what could be considered a monumentous occasion amongst the anarchs, if not for a few gate crashers, well, certain things come off without a hitch. But not everything comes off without some degree of cost. The Camarilla have come in and made their statement, offering the prince's blessing of this Elysium, and glad to end up acknowledging new members who are to claim loyalty to the Camarilla. Though maybe a ploy, maybe not, given the reach and the power of the Camarilla. Sure it is to tempt a few. Harpy Telly and Sheriff Clays came in to end up making the announcement, harboring the safety of Elysium. Though perhaps you would find that a bit hypocritical, given the state they ended up leaving the individuals who were supposed to be its keepers. Though no deaths were attributed to the Camarilla, let us say that problems are ensuing, but not without some opportunity. Now, Rashad has made it a point to have some individuals under his employ track the U-Haul that ended up carrying the Camarilla. Though that was very close to dawn by the time he might get that information, a new night draws, and information abounds. So let's start with the man of the hour. Rashad, you're just waking up. How about you listen to what's going on in your head? And maybe lay some of the foundations for everybody to understand how you are approaching the evening tonight.
Just waking up, I do my daily routine. Get dressed, get the newspaper. But I'm also moving with purpose tonight. I had a phone call the previous night that was pretty close to dawn, explaining to me that my people had found something about the U-Haul that left, that Telly and I believe Sheriff Clays was his name, left in. They crashed our first Elysium, and I do not take kindly to them harming our keepers either. They might have been safe leaving Elysium and going about their business, but it does not mean that I will not find where they were. And so I put into motion that plan. Other than that, I need to talk to Mouse as well because, well, it seems like a member of the runoff might be Camarilla now.
Yes, there is that. A small coterie of Thin Bloods and Caitiff, run by Duke, seems to have its own members compromised, I guess you could say. Or maybe if you're Camarilla, you'll simply say that they finally seen reason. Guess it depends on which side of the fence you start speaking from. Still, You're not the only one involved in this. You end up having one loyal cohort, though given on your recent interactions, I guess I should be hesitant to use those words. Mouse seems to be growing more to a proper kindred, though one might say that's not the greatest thing, making him a cold killer who still thinks in a way a young child would. Speaking of children, let's talk to Mouse for a second. Mouse, how about you let us in on what's going on in your head and how you plan to approach this evening?
Well, I made it clear, I suppose, at the Elysium that what happened to Julian Ambrose, I was not in complete control. I know what losing control to the beast is like, and that wasn't it. That was like my brain shut off and came back on, I guess, after his head was removed. Not entirely sure what happened. I don't like that feeling. I don't like that something else took over. I don't know.
You have to wonder, though, Mouse. Is that the only thing going on in your head? Are you even aware of what else might be up there that you don't know what you might do at any given time? That your own options might be taken away from you?
That's frightening. That's not that unsettles me. I hate that. Not being in control is exactly why I do what I do, to maintain myself over my beast. Because that amount of control is at least something that I can do to make better. Occasionally it comes out on its own, but at the very least I know what that feels like. What happened to Julian Ambrose, what I did to Julian Ambrose wasn't me. That wasn't the beast.
Yeah. And yet, it still was you. Your hands. Responsible for removing a man's head. I wonder what the last thought in Mr. Ambrose's mind must have been when the youngest of the Head kindred in Detroit was the one who was responsible for his death.
I wouldn't have done it without the Baron's consent.
And yet, you did. It was only after the fact. But, still, who can blame you? It is a world where control is a fleeting thing. So, with that in mind, to get this ball rolling, let us start with some rouse checks, shall we? The night was taxing. It is definitely something that needs to be considered as you find yourselves maybe with a little peckish, maybe a little cranky. Mouse, you might be taking exception even more so, giving your rousing speech about maintaining control over yourself. And yet, are you not a slave to this one hunger? That being said, Rashad, you said you were getting in contact with Mouse tonight. Is there any particular meetings place?
If Miles wants to, we can meet at my office or we can meet in Fitzgerald.
Well, given Fitzgerald's no longer yours, is it safe to meet there?
Hector said it was still okay to feed there, so I'm going to...
It is under control by Hector, so it should still be fine.
Wow. So, let's go to the Fitzgerald Projects. The old stomping grounds. Place that really does make all the difference. You know, this all started when the nightlife took over. When things started spiraling out of control very quickly. And now you find yourselves on the precipice of that's almost a knife's edge, with the entire city waiting to suddenly turn. Curiouser and curiouser. So, with that being said, gentlemen, you do find yourselves in the Fitzgerald neighborhood. It's not a comforting fact, but it is yours. It is a place where you can find yourself some place to feed, to be able to relax maybe just a bit. Do apologize for some odd reason. It's having a hard time adjusting. Almost had it. You know what? We'll just do this. Good enough. Alright. Shows how prepared I am. So, with that in mind, Mouse, Rashad, there's several nooks and crannies, and static apparently, that would end up letting you know you can end up meeting with some degree of safety. The question is, between two kindred, two dead things, how do you approach? Rashad, you have the file ready to show Mouse whenever at your convenience of all the details that were available, specifically about the U-Haul. It would...
Okay.
If you want to go over it, that's fantastic, or you can hold off for Mouse, but nevertheless...
Oh, hold on.
Are you going alone this night, or are you taking your ghoul with you?
This night I am going alone. This is a private meeting.
Fair enough. So, Rashad, you're waiting, trying to dress down appropriately, though you're still a little bit of a standout. How can you not, given some of the threads that you tend to wear? Mouse, it doesn't take long for you to end up being able to find Rashad. He's waiting, trying to be inconspicuous, though probably standing out like a sore thumb right now, which doesn't make things a lot or any easier, but you'll make do, I'm sure.
They wanted to talk, so I am going to approach in my usual slightly stealthy way.
Would you be able to speak up? You're actually a little quiet.
Yeah, your level is.
Sorry. Is that better?
I'll play around with the volume until it corrects itself. Please continue.
But yeah, I was just saying that I kind of approach in my usual kind of stealthy way. And kind of come up behind Rashad and just say, so.
Glad you can make it. There's some things we need to discuss.
Such as?
I have recently got information about the U-Haul that left Elysium last night. But there's also another situation I believe that you are more attuned to.
More attuned to?
Yes, you are in charge of the runoff, correct?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, they live in the neighborhood. Technically, I suppose they're Hector's charge now.
It seems like Crank was driving one of the U-Hauls that the Camarilla was in last night. And I'll kind of start opening up the files. The file that I have.
Alright. Rashad, the route it took, maybe this is the reason you came to Fitzgerald in the first place, it does in fact lead back to Fitzgerald. There is clear here signs that it was returned appropriately. You have financial reports specifically on the leasing of such, which was in fact a place that received a sizable increase of funds from your insurance after the damages performed to the neighborhood by the Second Inquisition. It arrived, no cars left, but up until you ended up waking and coming here, thus far the place has been scouted and no one has come or gone. Which would strike you as odd, most certainly. But more so if when you end up here taking a look over it, you can end up here seeing photos. Definitely Crank is at the wheel. She is looking over her shoulder. She's very nervous as she's driving and pulling it up into a parkade. There's photos of her, Clays, and Telly all getting out and approaching the door of the business, of this U-Haul rental business, and entering.
It seems our friend Crank is part Camarilla now. And I kind of show Mousy files of, and not files, the photos of Crank driving the U-Haul and Telly and Clays.
Based on the time, is this going from the U-Haul place to Elysium, or is this coming back and returning the vehicle?
This is coming back, returning the vehicle.
And I asked Rashad if there's photos of her getting in the car and leaving there to go to Elysium.
No, there is not. This is all the photos that Rashad could take based off of the quickest he could respond to it. So he wasn't aware this is how they were coming in. So he didn't know that this was something that should have been documented. So the moment it became something to document in his mind, he started to take it in. Okay. And it's fairly thorough.
Okay.
I also have video evidence of Crank pulling into Elysium while backing in with a U-Haul to Elysium. And I believe... here it is. And I pull out the tape that I have that has the video evidence of Ambrose
Well, I
and
very
Crank.
much doubt it will be a tape. Probably be a flash drive at this point.
USB drive, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, USB drive.
Please, you're more modern than that.
Yeah. USB. I pull out the USB and say, this has the video evidence of what happened last night with Ambrose and the others. This also shows that Crank backed in with the U-Haul to let Miss Tully and Sheriff Clays in.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't know what the procedure would be with Hector being in charge of this place now.
Derek, would I know what would be the proper procedure for this?
Yes, you would know that Anarchs don't really do procedure, but if you're trying to end up scoring brownie points, Hector being in the know as to what exactly is going on in his newfound domain, that might be something that Hector wants to know.
Okay. It would be best for us to notify Hector of what's going on.
Definitely. That's my thought on it. He'd want to know. Because if this is... I hate it. I hate it, Rashad. I hate that everything we do is now a question about somebody's loyalty, and that's fucking dumb.
Yeah. It is better to be precautious at this time. One false move and this place could go up.
Right. That much is for sure.
The thing is, I'm not thinking back when I had first met the runoff.
Yeah.
The only person that seemed like was in charge was Duke, and that's because he was basically making them fear him into doing things.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Crank and what's the name? I forget.
Ajax,
yeah. They didn't seem like they would want to do this willingly. So I'm almost feeling like Telly got a hold of them and either persuaded them or forced them to do it.
that's a theory.
Gonna keep that noted.
Still, the idea that there are anarchs that are secretly moving Camarilla, and how much power you've given away. Monetarily, Rashad, you've given half your company to your sire in order to end up getting everything balanced out, and it has worked. You've both given Hector the domain that was rightfully yours, a la Baron Creed. you've been losing ground since day one. The question is, has it been worth it? Between losing coterie members, between losing sires, self-respect, scraping in the gutters as you do. Now, finding out one of the smaller kindred has just ended up turning their back on the anarch movement, as it were. Started to run Camarilla. What could possibly justify where you're at now?
How... Trying to think with this information how to flip this into a gain instead of a loss. Because we could tell Hector.
You could.
That will benefit. That will benefit a little bit, but I don't think it would be enough gain.
It would be warning Hector, but you yourself wouldn't get anything out of it. You've been allowed feeding rights in what was once your domain, but not any more than that. Might be a bit of a stretch. So, in this world of conspiracy, backstabbing, political intrigue, how do you get ahead right now? And don't forget, Fitzgerald is also infested with flan right now, making feeding particularly difficult.
Good point. The other thing that could be done is blackmailing the... God, I just blanked on the name. Runoff. Into coming back to our side, because I'm sure they don't want to meet their final death. That is probably the main reason why they are possibly going Camarilla, because they think that it will save their bacon. Nonetheless,
Is Rashad musing this out loud?
I would be sharing my thoughts on this because I'm trying to think.
Well, what exactly are you hoping to change at this point in the landscape? You sound like you're trying to reach for a conclusion here, but what's the conclusion you're trying to figure out?
The conclusion here is how to best use this information that I have acquired.
Roll me a wits academics. Let's devolve into history, shall we? If you want to know what might happen, you might want to look as to what already has happened. Okay. So... Alright.
Alright. I'll reroll that one.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Spending a willpower to re-roll a single die. Okay. Unfortunately, Lady Luck does not smile on you today, Mr. Seraph. However, there is something of note. Telling Hector protects his interests. So long as your interest is in serving the city, I suppose you can consider that a win. As for what's going to end up happening in your particular neck of the woods, I would end up saying that if you're trying to end up pulling a win, the very first thing you need to do once you need to tell Hector and warn him, and hopefully get something out of it, would be you need to end up engaging the Camarilla. Ultimately, your biggest problem is information. You still do not know what you are dealing with. You are trying to fight a label. You are not trying to fight a group of individuals. You do not know who or what you are up against. And because of that, you are at a severe handicap. It's bad enough you are currently in a domain that is currently contested between Hector and Pride. What's happening between you and the rest is a lot more difficult. But historically, if you end up remembering Sun Tzu, know your enemy and know yourself, and you need not fear the result of 100 battles. How well do you really know yourself? And what do you really know about your enemy?
I know more of myself than my enemy, so I need to get more information on it. Okay. Mouse, out of curiosity, what do you know of most of the camera? Also, we should probably go talk to Hector about this as well.
Really? All I know are names.
It would be best if we started looking into who they are individually.
Well, I'm not exactly the most knowledgeable when it comes to the inner workings of most anything. Somebody who knows the politics of kindred society as a whole might know. Violet seemed to be pretty knowledgeable.
True. There's also Mr.
Every time
Kowalski.
I spouted off a name, she seemed to almost click like she knew something.
Might be best to run something by her then.
I was actually really surprised not to see her at Elysium.
How telling.
It's also quite interesting that Mr. Kowalski wasn't there either.
Roll me a wits politics, would you, Rashad?
Okay. Okay, that's a bad roll. I will power to burn, so I'm rerolling this.
Yep. Unfortunately, there is a hunger die with a 1 in there, so we're looking for 2.
Okay.
We're looking for difficulty 2.
Man!
Rashad hangry.
Rashad, can you please do me a quick favor and roll a d10?
Okay.
Rashad, you start to wonder about this. Kowalski didn't show up. Maybe he's in on it. And Violet didn't show up. And isn't it strange how Mouse says, he didn't do something he clearly done in front of the entire court? I mean, how nice is it to be able to say, it wasn't me, it wasn't my fault? I mean, how nice is it to be able to just hand wave that, being able to take a person's life? Each kindred is responsible for frenzy, but Mouse is getting off on the whole charge. No, there's something bigger. Right now, until you find a place to rest for an hour, or until the scene ends, you are stuck in paranoia.
Okay.
Well, if you feel that talking to Hector is like the first thing that we should be doing, then Mouse pulls up his phone to dial Hector. Suppose I'll give him a call.
Mouse is trying to warn Hector about you.
I think we should go meet him in person.
Okay. You
Things
kind of
aren't
just want
too
to walk
safe.
up on his door?
It's better than giving a random phone call. Besides, you can't be too careful over the.
I'm fucking careful. I don't say shit.
Mouse doth protest too much. Sorry, what was that, Mr. South?
Does Mouse have the black phone or a regular phone?
No, this is the phone you gave him.
It'd be safer to go meet face to face.
Okay, but us dropping in on Hector without giving him a proper phone call first, that's your fault in case we get heat. Because, he might have that talking down at you like a frustrated parent. It's not my fault. I tried to call.
Right.
He's trying to dodge it. He's gonna call the Hector the second that your back's turned. What's the big deal about calling Hector?
And Mouse just puts his phone away back in his bag.
Just keeping an eye on Mouse while we're walking.
Okay. Now, Mouse. Hector has set up shop, most certainly. Well, his haven might be elsewhere. He definitely has a way to identify. You can already tell. Your streetwise is high enough for this that you tell on a moment's notice. Hector's mark. You can end up seeing it is that of some form of large sea creature. Looks like a combination of a whale and an octopus of some sort.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just a quick stencil, but it is something that is noticeable and definitely something new. with that in mind, you start walking your way and following the signs. Doesn't take long before the appropriate channels are taken. It is probably longer for the wait before Hector finally gets word. And it's at that point you end up seeing a familiar face. He approaches, coming out of back alleys as he starts to end up finding his way towards the two of you.
I give him a wave.
How you doing, lad?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Welcome, Mouse. And, hey, Rashad, how you been doing?
I've been doing better.
Imagine so. Now, if you don't mind, I end up having a lot of business I gotta end up covering tonight. So, what ends up bringing you two a lot? Kind of curious. You didn't come calling as a social call. I can guarantee you I'm way too busy for that right now.
Fair enough. We're here because we have discovered a problem, and we intend to fix it.
You intend to fix it? Oh, great. This'll be rich. All right. So, what exactly is this problem, and what exactly do you intend to fix? I'm sorry, but the Nightlife's track record hasn't exactly been sterling.
Rashad's got more info on that than I do.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. The rundown, I guess you could say, of this is there is words out of character. There's potentially Camarilla influence inside of Fitzgerald, other than pride.
No, other than pride.
Yes. I assume that you would have already known about the runoff.
I might end up hearing something or another. Tags that weren't mine. The tags that weren't yours. I had to end up making an assumption that was another group. Never met them in person just yet, but they never end up giving me a reason to end up going and seeking them out. Not yet, anyway. Still kind of laying the landscape, as it were.
Well, it seems like one of the runoff known as Crank has been dealing with Camarilla. Particularly the Harpy, Miss Veronica Telly, and Sheriff Clays.
The adventurer always sticking to your titles. Alright. Fine. So they've been seen around here. Let's see. Goods.
You didn't happen to hear what happened at Elysium, did you?
Well, can't say as I have. Be fair, probably would have been 10 times more uncomfortable if I ended up showing up.
They attacked the Keepers, dropped in, declared praxis, and left.
Well, look at the sack on them.
Yep.
Alright.
Left with some of the catering.
And at this point, I will show Hector the photos of Crank, Miss Telly, and Sheriff all talking and driving together. It seems like Crank backed in with the U-Haul at Elysium and let Miss Telly and Mr. Clays.
I suppose that's one way to interpret it, yeah?
How else would you interpret it?
Well, I had also thought that she could have been forced by Miss Telly as well.
Well,
what do you think?
Maybe. I guess the question I would end up asking is if there was a point in bringing her over, why not just end up grabbing a ghoul? Ghoul would have been a lot more convenient. Someone you can trust in, somebody you can end up handling their shite, and somebody you can throw into the fire if things go completely tits up. So,
why a thin blood?
Not exactly known for the compassion towards the thin blood and the caitiff. I'm telling you that much right now. Not that I care for the bastards, but Camarilla, somebody must be bringing something special.
I'm curious, Hector. Why do people not like thin bloods and caitiff?
Well, there's a story. I guess the big question is what's it to you?
Just curiosity.
Curiosity, alright. Well, if you need to know, it's really quite simple. Half of them, if you believe the bit of a circus that we have going on around here, will end up being told that most of the problems that you end up finding given the masquerade can be boiled down to a thin blood or a caitiff. Ultimately, these too young to end up knowing any better, too volatile to end up being predicted, and ultimately end up having this point where they're an unknown quantity. When you end up embracing, you deal with the Nosferatu, you know what you're dealing with when it comes down to dealing with the Nosferatu. You deal with a caitiff, you have no idea if that fucker's going to end up putting your head right into the ground, being able to end up making you sing and dance, or being able to end up outrunning the 1060 to Sacramento. You have no idea what you're going to be dealing with. And Thin Bloods are even worse than that. They end up starting to play around with shit that they really shouldn't be, making a lot of people nervous. And if that wasn't bad enough, it was time that, well, they say the end times come during the time of thin blood. Now, think about this for a second, Mouse. We are in a situation where thin bloods probably have one of the greatest advantages to end up going on surviving this little bit of a cockroach infestation problem. When you think it's going to be the elders that survive this shit. You and me, we're stuck in the goddamn nighttime. Mr. Sheriff here needs to end up staying in a goddamn building. Eventually, though, in a long enough timeline, we all get found out. Thin Bloods, on the other hand, can end up walking here through, have a full physical, end up going home for dinner, being able to eat. Some of them, I heard, can even go out to the sun sometimes. Do you understand on just how hard it is to end up picking out a Thin Blood from a normal human if you really don't know what you're looking for? They will survive this. And the worst part is they grow in number more and more each decade. Eventually, we're going to be dealing with a lot of caitiff and a lot of Thin Bloods. Ultimately, they're going to end up coming up and end up probably wanting a piece. Which would be fine for me if it wasn't for the fact that there's certain rumors that are going about Thin Bloods that make a lot of us old folk a lot less comfortable. For instance, and this should make you very fucking nervous right now, Mouse, Mr. Sheriff. You say this crank is a Thin Blood, yeah?
As far as I know.
Okay. Then she has every fucking incentive in the world to eat you.
What? Why?
Because your blood is more pure. It is stronger. She too, word on the street is she might end up becoming a Nosferatu. She ends up beating Mr. Sheriff here, and guess what? That blue blood you're so proud about gets stolen, and it's now hers. And she becomes a proper blood. Regardless on what clan sired her. She's a fucking mix and match wherever the fuck she wants to be, wherever she wants to go. It is in their nature now to look after anything that has a scrape, little bit ahead, and eat you.
That's good to know.
Out
So,
of character,
go ahead.
would I know what this is called?
The act itself?
Yeah.
Yes, diablerie. Or drinking of the amaranth, depending on what side, how old you are. You might be young enough that it's just good old fashioned cannibalism.
Okay. Diablerie. We'll need to be careful around them then.
I thought Gutter was fucking joking when he talked about that kind of thing.
Gunner joked about a lot of shit, but when it came down to who you're eating, rarely.
Certainly a very threatening statement.
So that's what you're fucking with. So if I had to end up guessing, there's an opportunity there. Maybe she's in her proven phases. Is there anything I need to end up knowing about this outside of that, gents?
I think that's it.
Oh,
Really?
fan-fucking-tastic. You just made my goddamn evening. Now I gotta end up spending my time worrying about this shit. And you're telling me that there's a group of thin bloods here who probably can end up earning themselves quite a few branding points with the Camarilla if they were to fucking eat me in my sleep. So that's just fan-fucking-tastic now, isn't it?
We'll do everything that we can to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's been working out so well for you in the past, Mouse.
I'm trying, okay?
Uh, Trying, right? You're gonna try us right into the fucking ground if you keep this up. Oh, don't you start to end up hearing the poor me routine. Please. Your gutters kid, fucking act like it sometime.
I don't know what that means. Really.
You have a better idea than most. You still don't know what it means. That's pretty fucking sad if you end up asking me. Jesus. Why I keep looking after this twerp, I don't know.
Because I'm Gutter's kid.
Yeah, that's about the long and short of it. What the fuck is so funny, Mr. Seraph?
Just a statement.
I'm so glad that can amuse you in that way. Now, that being said, I gotta end up dealing with this shit. Has anybody ended up taking a look in the U-Haul dispensary? Has anybody ended up trying and following up on any leads? Has anybody ended up managing to end up figuring out where they're headed as far as Camarilla gatherings go? Does anybody know anything?
I know one place where they hang out.
Oh, fan-fucking-tastic.
You ever been to the old Miami?
Not this decade.
Rumor has it they hang out over there.
Information on what the Camarilla meetings are up to, I could easily get that information. I still have a few contacts around here that I can talk to about that.
You gotta raise his brow. Really?
Yes.
Very well then. He kind of eyeballs you suspiciously.
I Out of character, I'm only down one person, okay? I still have other information. I just give Hector a confident look.
Now, if there's nothing else, gents, I gotta end up fucking off because right now I got a domain to end up in. Is still assessing, and right now, oh dear fucking god. How the fuck does anybody stay sober in this neighborhood? I have no goddamn idea. And he starts mumbling as he starts walking. There's not even a goodbye. He just starts like he's got the world's largest headache and starts walking right between you two and keeps walking.
Hmm.
What are we doing about this, Rashad?
There's several ways of proceeding from this point. We could potentially check the U-Haul place. Well, I could talk to them at least. We could confront the runoff, but as Hector said, there is a chance that we might get eaten. But that is unlikely.
Unlikely?
At least for me, anyway.
You seem real confident.
Yes. Anyway, or could potentially help Hector enlighten his load. But at the same time, what would we get out of all that? We'll be helping Hector out, yes, but net gain, not that much.
Well, it's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that there was a little thought in my head that we go shake them down, but now that's a little bit iffy.
I mean, we still can.
Is Mouse being dissuaded because he knows something? Is he trying to protect them?
I mean, I'm not exactly the most convincing person, nor am I the most intimidating person, nor am I the strongest. So when Hector says be more like Gutter's child, I don't know what he means by that.
Considering the way you bit Ambrose's head off, I can believe that you can be very frightening if you want.
I don't know about that.
You bit through a man's neck. What point of do you not know? If you can do it to him, you can do it to someone else.
So what's the call, gentlemen?
I'm voting go talk to Ronald.
Go to Taco.
Go confront the Ronald.
Ah.
I think I may have some toys.
Should probably get them, just to be safe.
Alright. Then we need to stop at my haven.
Alright.
Quickly stop at my haven, however long that's going to take. and grab the fire round pistol out of my safe.
Alright, that might take a little bit, but you can definitely do so.
I'm just moving that into my inventory.
Okay. Are you taking Rashad with you?
Yes. Not into my haven, no.
Okay.
But after visiting my haven, he is going to be at. We're going to go together to visit the Rumoff.
Okay. So we are staying in Fitzgerald. Alright.
Yes.
Okay. So, after a lot of running about, you two find yourselves at a particular location. Mouse, you already had this place scouted. It was potentially going to be another haven, but you started to leave this as a place for the runoff to end up gathering. It doesn't take long before some whispers bring the attention of, well, probably the individual you want to speak to. Though he seems to be absent his group, as it were. As he starts to approach, you can see this disheveled man, probably in his late 30s. He seems well-toned, maybe a bit malnourished, definitely pale, as he starts to end up walking towards you. And you can see that he's been out and about. When he looks over you, his eyebrows crunch in. And see he's giving you that stare. Eventually he approaches two of you. Alright. So what do I have the pleasure of dealing with you two? What
Rent
the
is due.
Rent is due. Rent is due. Let me put this another way here to you, Mouse. Right now, I'm hearing word on the street that you up and goddamn left this place. So, I believe my rent is due to a new landlord.
We've been asked politely to collect.
That a fact.
That's a fact.
I need you to roll me manipulation subterfuge because I know that's a lie. And versus his wits, insight, no modifier. Alright. Say I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
For sake of argument. What exactly do you need from me?
Information.
Oh, goody.
From Crank, specifically.
What you want to know about that bitch for?
It's my business.
And she was mine.
I just need to talk to her.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to tell you, she ain't here no more.
Where did she go?
No idea. Probably fucked off and died.
I know that's a lie.
I don't particularly care if you think it's a lie or not.
What about Ajax? He here?
Time to time.
Would he happen to know where she went?
Maybe. What do you need to see it for anyway?
Like I said, my business. I just need to talk to her. I just need to know where she is. You can't tell me. Fine.
I know. Go ahead.
One sec. Out of curiosity, because I've forgotten this, if I try to use Forgetful Mind, would he be aware that he's under it if it fails?
Depends on the individual and how frequently they're exposed to it. More often than not, that would be an occult roll. But he might have no idea what the hell's going on. Hell, most individuals might not be aware of the compulsion.
I think I'm going to try to use it.
And it's versus intelligence wits, or...
I believe so. Let's see.
I also want to insight check him and see if he knows. See if I can tell if he knows whether Ajax is gonna be here or not.
Intelligence resolve.
Intelligence resolve. Okay. So let's do intelligence. Alright, ready to roll when you are.
Okay, one sec. Okay. Oh no, I'm re-rolling that. Screw that. I'm re-rolling 5.
You can re-roll up to 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's bad, yo.
Okay. Mouse, you're trying to see like if he would know, like if, I would say
If he's just being dodgy or if he truly doesn't know.
Roll me a what's insight.
Alright.
And I am going to actually make this a -1 since it's already been one social action.
Would versus Kindred also work because he's thin blood?
Yes.
Okay.
Still is a kindred type.
Alright.
Alright. You're pretty sure he knows. He had such a stranglehold on the rest of the runoff that does he really seem like the type that lets things go?
Not at all.
Yeah. So, Mouse, you read into this for like 3 seconds, and then all of a sudden you end up seeing, Rashad kind of wave his hand and just utter the word forget. And Duke kind of blinks for a second. He goes completely blank. You guys got maybe like 2-3 seconds before he comes to.
Wait.
You're using Forgetful Mind.
Forgetful Mind is different than Cloud Memory. Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry, keep you You're using
Did
the
you roll
first
the
level
rouse
power.
for Forgetful Mind?
No, he's using the first level power.
I'm using
You're actually using the full-on Forgetful Mind?
Yeah, I need to rouse as well.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the rouse for that. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So.
All right. So what are you doing? What are you doing right now? You have his attention. What exactly are you going to play around in his head with?
I'm playing around in his head to that we might not see eye to eye sometimes, but anything that goes on with him and his group, he tells us immediately. We wouldn't screw him over, he doesn't screw us over. So even if we don't see eye to eye sometimes, we still look out cautiously, but he still tells us all the information that he knows.
Okay. And Mouse, this is the first time I think you actually have seen him do this. Like
maybe up close. I've seen it from afar, maybe.
You wouldn't have known what he was doing when he did that, though. This would be the first time you've actually seen this, which probably should be horribly disconcerting to you. But as soon as you rewrite this bit of memory, he kind of looks to you and... Sorry, what was that?
Crank. Where is she?
Crank. She'd been spending a lot of time with... weird woman.
What's she look like?
Like she don't belong here. Black hair, black dress, still wears a dress in the fucking streets. Carries around some kind of instrument case. Apparently has a soft spot for sob stories. Took Crank on. Crank was unappreciative of my kindness of supplying her with 3 hots and a cot. So, I owe the bitch one.
Well,
And Ajax.
Ajax is still convinced he can end up saving her. He's completely, I don't know if you call it a father complex or some shit. Who knows? Maybe he thinks he's a mama, but seems to have it out to end up looking after her come hell or high water, so wherever she goes, he goes.
seems like that frees up your time to look out for number 1.
Yeah, which would be fantastic if I didn't have to end up dealing with this bullshit, with involving pride and all that.
You still looking out at Pride?
Fact of the matter is that's... He's a fucking reef shark at this point. In a world of guppies, he is a fucking shark, circling around here. Now, he might be quiet, he might be well fed, and everything's going nice and swimmingly for him. And so long as it stays that way, my head stays up on my goddamn shoulders, and I would like to keep it that way, Mouse.
You been going out of your way helping him? Or just staying out of sight?
I don't think I like the way what you're insinuating.
I'm just asking.
No, you're implying. Ain't no idiot.
Is pride forcing you to do stuff?
He's mostly end up keeping us to steer clear. And outside of me running into his goon posse, no, I ain't end up doing nothing for him. He ain't doing nothing for me. The way it always is.
You keep it that way.
Alright.
Because if you don't keep it that way, Pride's not the only one who'll take your head off your shoulders, man.
Roll me a charisma plus intimidation. Yeah, you got +1 with Rashad right there.
Alright.
All right.
Mm.
3 successes.
That stings. You can see kind of takes a small hit when you end up browbeating him. Kind of leans away a bit, looking over you. Wants to open his mouth, but he doesn't.
We're clear?
Yeah, we clear.
Good. Keep your nose clean, Duke. We'll be seeing you.
Remember, if there's anything that I can help you out with, let me know.
Why do I get the impression that help ain't exactly get me anywhere but in trouble?
I wouldn't say that. Might help you out in a situation one day.
I'll consider it.
All right. Okay, let's go.
And I make my way out.
You leave Duke to his own devices as you start to end up heading down Fitzgerald. Now, what have you been doing this entire time? Have you been trying to mask your presence? Have you been trying to keep it casual, or are you trying to keep it loud?
I'm being very casual.
Okay. If that's the case,
Like I belong here.
alright. High or low?
Hi.
Alright. So, you two start to walk away. What are you planning on doing?
Well, given the description that Duke gave me of the woman that Crank's been hanging out with, I'm gonna go see Ink.
Mm. Well,
Maybe not Ink specifically, but I know where she hangs out.
Yeah. Well,
Looking for Crank while I'm there.
that may be the case. And you want to know what? There's kind of a wonderful bit of karma when somebody's looking out, when you're looking out for somebody. Is maybe, just maybe, they're looking for you. In that same vein. Because you start walking towards a particular location. And you know where the center is, where well, let's just say those who are in need of help. And as you approach, you see somebody who is coming down the street. She walks kindly, softly, as though with purpose. You can end up seeing that as she ends up walking, she ends up carrying a small case. For you, you know full well it's a violin case. And as she does so, she starts to look at you. Looks to Mr. Seraph. There's a soft smile as she ends up approaching. Well, if it isn't you again, did you make it home okay?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. And you have a friend.
Nice to meet you.
Monica, though most call me Ink. It's a pet name.
It's quite lovely.
Thank you very
And
much.
I extend the hand.
This is Ricky.
Ricky. She extends.
Yes. I shake.
Firm grip. Thank you very much. Well, Ricky. Sorry. And I don't believe I ended up catching your name, young one.
I told you, Mouse.
Mouse. That's what I thought.
What you thought?
I have a lot of thoughts. They tend to drift from time to time. Makes me wonder. But I don't have a lot of time for being able to think these days, so I appreciate the small moments. Thank you very much. She steps to the side. Would you two be kind enough to join me? Walking alone at night doesn't suit me.
I don't see why not.
Thank you very much, Ricky. Mouse?
And I just follow behind when they start walking. I don't really say anything.
You can see that on occasion she double checks. She keeps turning her head just to check to see if you're still there. Otherwise, she seems proper, even so far as to place her arm in Ricky's, walking side by side. She... Go ahead.
Would I have noticed the violin case?
Yes, she's not hiding it.
So, out of curiosity, how long have you been playing violin?
I would say a lifetime.
Interesting.
Do you play, Ricky?
I know a plethora of instruments, but I rarely get the chance these days.
She starts to end up with turning in. Mouse, you're familiar with this building. This building is definitely old and is the same building you've seen her, well, when she was earlier on, gathering together with a large amount of people who needed help. She is quick to open or take the keys and unlocks it and excuses herself. She's very cautious to make sure that you don't see the alarm code as the buzzing starts. But once she closes it with or closes the lid of the security system, she invites you both in. And once the door closes, you'll notice that in here, it's modern lighting, but with an old-fashioned taste. It's electric lights that are supposed to look like lamps. It's very limited, shall we say.
Nice place you have here.
I can hardly call it mine. It is a friend who's letting me borrow the building for now. Just until I get on my feet.
What friend would that be?
An old one. One I haven't had the pleasure of working with for some time. She starts to...
That doesn't really answer my question. I know lots of people.
I suppose you do. And you'll get to learn a lot more of them. She walks down the stairs into the same room, Mouse, that you're familiar with, the one that you saw from the window. As she pulls out some chairs. They're simple fold-out chairs. There's nothing fancy about this. But she is kind enough to end up pulling two out for you before grabbing a third one for herself. She is sure to curtsy before she ends up seating, placing both hands in her lap with her violin case right beside her.
To be clear, I sensed the beast on her last time and was able to get a read on her, yes?
No, she came off as you weren't sure what to make of her.
I'd like to do that again, then. If I can.
You can't disprove that I'm not Kindred. Still rough. Still not certain. Maybe it's just something about her. She looks to you both, relaxes a bit. Perhaps I should reintroduce myself. I am referred to as Ink. I am I guess you can say right now my role is a liaison. I'm familiar with Mouse only through reputation and a few dollars. Ricky, I've not heard of you, but if I had to guess, Mouse is known to work with a few partners. Would you happen to be the one referred to as Nightmare?
No.
My apologies.
You seem to have the upper hand on me, then.
I was granted a small amount of insight. When I first met you, I couldn't be sure, but I had my own feelings about it. Nevertheless, I still wanted to get you home safe. It's not like I drive. You asked who my friend was earlier. I'm pretty sure you can already guess his name at this point.
I don't like to assume.
I'm told that ones of your lineage are very good at finding out information, so I'm sure that it wouldn't be much trouble for you to find it out on your own. So, to spare you that, by all means, make the assumption.
Well, you're residing in this neighborhood. So you're either friends with Hector, or you're friends with Pride.
Unfortunately, I am not familiar enough with Hector to call myself friends. Pride, on the other hand, yes. She kind of looks over both of you real quick. Like as if she's kind of judging how that is interpreted, or how that pill is as it goes down. Or is anybody trying to hide what their emotion is, or are they wearing it on their face?
Mouth is attempting
Okay.
to not
That would
make any kind of face.
that would be subterfuge and composure.
All right.
I'm wearing the same calm face as always.
All right, subterfuge and composure. Mouse, what exactly is your response emotionally? Where does that put you, knowing that she considers herself to be in good company when in Pride's domain? How does that make you feel?
The facial expression that Mouse would have tried to stifle would be a little bit of a cringe. Because not only is he losing his domain to Hector, but he's also losing his domain to Pride, and that just has a little bit of a bitter taste in his mouth.
Given that both of you have not just leapt upon me at this point, I have to assume that I've made the right decision in speaking to you two in private. I appreciate that, very much so. I think more accurately, I volunteered to speak with you two. And if it was not for Pride, I would not be having this conversation with you two. It would be a conversation with Sheriff Clays, the Honorable and Just Sheriff of Detroit.
Of Winnipeg.
She kind of looks to you, nods. Not that she's agreeing with you, but she understands where the sentiment is coming from and acknowledging it. I wanted to... Go ahead.
Pride is asked you to speak with us?
No. I asked if I could speak with you too. Instead of Sheriff Clays. Pride has been kind enough to be my backer in this.
Do he and Sheriff Clays not get along?
She thinks about it. I suppose if I were to expound upon that comment, one could interpret that as a traitorous act, feeding information to the enemy. But I don't think I sit with enemies here.
Well, if you don't consider Anarchs enemies, then I guess not.
I don't consider you Anarchs.
I am Anarch, though.
By what choice?
My own.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty sure about that.
If you were embraced and and your sire was Camarilla, are you absolutely sure that your response would be the same? Or is it only because you need to end up proving something?
Well, if the display at Elysium was anything to go off of, I don't want anything to do with Camarilla.
The display at Elysium. So, if I were to tell you then that I find the display of mass embrace personally reviling, and yet a tactic the Anarchs willingly threw in with, she kind of looks to you, Mouse, like, give it a thought. Maybe I could also describe the idea that in Anarch terms it's kill or be killed. If, so long as you can, well, so long as you can make it a position where there is no rule over you, so killing is, well, simply is. There's no governing body. It's anarchy. And it's something that's been tearing this city in three ever since. It's destroyed families. It's destroyed relations. It's destroyed everything. Everything that gives us some measure of peace.
If you can call slavery peace.
Is that what you see?
It's exactly what I see. The ruling parties have no respect for their subjects, what they claim to be their subjects.
If that were true, if it was really true, then we wouldn't be having this conversation, would we?
I'm just looking for a friend.
She looks to you, Rashad. Has he found one in you?
Not too sure. I would hope so.
That's what I.
I must say, I've listened to both sides. Each of you have good points, and I can see from each other's perspective.
Then perhaps you would like to express to me what the perspective it is that I'm coming from. It's no judgment, sir. It's... I want to know if I'm actually being understood here. In such a very short conversation, no less. I would consider that quite the talent, if you were.
From even this small amount, seems like the point you are trying to get across is being sired, being a child of your sire, you are more so automatically on that side, even without choosing it yourself. Yes, you can learn those ways on your own, but having someone teach you, you automatically gain their traits, at least a tiny hint. So it all depends on,
Circumstances of embrace.
yes, as I assume most Camarilla think that anarchs are barbaric. It is the same way for anarchs in thinking that Camarilla are stuck up.
And yet I speak to you now.
There are a few that can look past each other's differences and get along, or at least have the right demeanor to converse with one another.
I'm told Telly made quite the splash in Elysium.
You could say that again.
The Harpy, however, made a point. She extended invitation. I have a belief. I have no interest in causing things to escalate. And I think one of the best ways that we can end up avoiding that conflict is if we see kindred of note, especially those who have not been given a fair shake, given one to their just rewards. You both have given so much to the Camarilla, whether you know it or not. You help build this. I would like to see it rewarded. And I would like to see Detroit come together, be an actual community, not a roving band of tribes gunning for each other's throats.
We're just childer.
Yes.
We have no place amongst the Camarilla.
Whatever would make you think that?
Because the Camarilla, above all else, values age.
Age is an asset, certainly. To throw it away and simply say it is not a significant value.
I didn't say that particularly.
No, but it is a leaning towards the sentiment. That is the concern.
I can appreciate the wisdom that age brings, but that does not mean that Ricky, being older than me, is my boss, as it were. Same with every other older kindred.
She kind of looks to Ricky and wants to hear what he has to say.
He has a point. I am not his boss, even though am somewhat older. But then again, I do not wish to be anyone's boss. Would I be... Out of curiosity, would you be trying to say that the Camarilla are of a meritocracy?
Times change. Have either of you actually been in a Camarilla city?
Never. Detroit born and raised.
That makes you very important, Mouse. And you, Mr. Rashad?
Out of character, did she actually just say my name?
Maybe she might be fishing.
Okay.
Ricky, my apologies. But what have you? Have you encountered another Camarilla city?
Out of character, would I have in passing?
Probably not, given your sire and your leanings.
Okay. I sadly can't say that I have. I'm part of Detroit.
Each city is built and maintained by a prince. That prince's demeanor, that prince who holds the throne, who holds the title, ultimately defines the city. In the right city, in Camarilla, you will find merit governing all. In cities even with Camarilla influence, such as Chicago, respect earned carries much more weight than simple age. Others would value generation. Others will value power above all else. It depends on the prince.
Others believe might makes right.
How is that any different than your anarchs?
Some of us try to be better than that.
And yet all it takes is one to not be.
And that's their choice to make.
But a choice that they will impose upon you. And round it goes.
I have no interest in being a bootlick.
So that's what I am to you.
You volunteered.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that somebody didn't put that in your head.
There's a lot going on in my head right now, Mouse, but this is not one of them. I came here because I look at two individuals who need a friend. A real one. One that can give them an opportunity that they never got. A chance at a fair shake. I would like to avoid it turning into open conflict. I know where that route goes.
You came to the wrong city, lady. And he just storms out.
I slowly stand up. It was a pleasure to meet you, Miss Ink, but I sadly must tag along with my friend. It was interesting to sit and hear your thoughts. Perhaps next time we can sit down and hear more.
Ricky, I don't believe there will be a next time. You say that it was nice to hear my thoughts. I don't think I was heard from the moment you stepped in that door. The next time someone will approach you, it won't be with an olive branch. And then I have to look at this and realized I failed to save 2 others. Because someone wouldn't listen.
On actuality, I'm more so the one that will hear people out before storming, as it has been shown.
Maybe. Ricky, I hope that your evening treats you well. Please, do look after Mouse. I'm afraid that his time might soon be up.
I'll make sure to keep an eye out for him. You have a good evening, Miss Ink.
She nods
And with
briefly
that,
and lets you starting to walk out the door. And as you maybe close the door behind you, you hear the sound of a violin starting to play a very mournful tune. And I think that is where we're going to take our little break. Welcome back, everybody. There is a moment in life where you have to face the consequences of your decisions. Rashad and Mouse have left the discussion with Ink. A Camarilla representative who offered them an olive branch. Or a collar. I guess it depends on who you ask. Now, Mouse still fuming. And Rashad coming out of the building. I'd like to settle in on that moment. Rashad, know that you've already taken a few times where you look back, listening to the music played. Maybe a little bit of longing in your heart. Where Mouse, the young, brash child, angry, storming off. I think this is where we want to pick up and get to know the minds of the two kindred.
Where are you going?
Back to the car. Where does it look like I'm fucking going?
Are you really this upset with the simple conversation that we were having? Or that you two were having?
She's a fucking liar.
Yes. We can assume this. But
I didn't want to listen to any more of her fucking lies. She can placate us, she can try and entice us, it's all that she's trying to fucking do.
have you ever considered the thought of taking as much information in as you can, then deciding what to do with it?
I did. I took in all the information she was providing me, which was bare butts all, and you know what? I made my decision. You haven't made your decision, Rashad.
Actually, I have. I just don't outwardly express and storm off my decisions.
Yeah? Are you fucking Anarch, or are you fucking Camarilla?
I've been Anarch this entire time. But it doesn't hurt to hear what your enemy has to say. It's not going to kill you to listen to someone when they have to say something. Because right now, it looked like that both of us got angry with what she was saying, which you did and stormed off. You know what that means? She can go back to Pride and Camarilla saying that she tried to hand us an olive branch to talk about things, but we did not listen and left. We gave her the opportunity to say that now. Will she do it? We don't know. Probably not. But actions have consequences, and leaving on terms like that is no good at all. Even if we were going to turn her down in the first place, we could have at least done it properly.
I am tired of their bullshit.
Let me just tiny hint of wisdom that I've learned from a tiny child, okay? All the way up to business. It does not hurt to listen to anyone. It is up to you to deal with that information and use it how you see fit.
I did.
Yet she was still trying to talk.
She was spouting off the exact same words that Prince Dufresne did, and I don't fucking believe a goddamn word of it.
Okay.
So you can believe her all you fucking want. I'm done.
Bro.
I am fucking done.
Never said I believed her in the first place. The point I'm trying to get across is hear them out till the end. Then calmly give your decision, and that way it shows that we're civil and it doesn't backlight.
Would that have changed anything?
It would have changed what she might potentially be able to say.
You heard her. She was gonna go back to Pride if we denied her, and exact revenge or some bullshit, you know, maybe in nicer words and in better words, but you know for a fact she would not have let us go.
I don't know about that, yo. She seemed more civil than most people that I've run into.
Sure, I'll give her that. She was polite. She was nice. That's a front.
Even if it is a front, it's an opportunity.
For what? For her to offer you and say, hey look, you've been helping us so much, we want to reward you, we want you to be part of our court, we want you to be bootlicks for the rest of your fucking goddamn life. Maybe not in those exact words. Reward you with slavery. I was done listening to her try and put soft words to what we know is the truth. And maybe, that's me being fucking biased. But at least I'm convicted in my bias.
In conversations, being biased gets people nowhere but more confrontation.
This is war, Rashad.
Know thyself, know thy enemy. And to be fair, we don't really know anything about our enemy.
Then let's go talk to somebody who does. Who may actually not try and placate us with, oh, we're gonna make your life all glorious and make you have a wonderful, wonderful existence.
All right. And since you are on this, who do you have in mind that we go talk to?
An
That would
anarch,
know-
not someone Camarilla.
And you think an anarch would know everything about the Camarilla that is in this city right now?
More than we know.
Actually, probably Nosferatu. Probably. Well, lead the way, Captain Mouse, for we shall go meet your person that knows more.
Do I know somebody who would know more than me?
Anyone you haven't already talked to?
Yeah, possibly.
Well, here's your problem. In order to know about the court you're dealing with, you would have to end up dealing with someone who has come from that court. You would need to have somebody either who has been a part of that city, or somebody who openly acknowledges that they used to be Camarilla.
Nobody does that at this point. Because that would get you... That would put eyes on you 100%.
Funny thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, the people you would be looking for are trying to hide themselves from you for the exact same reason you just shown.
Yep.
But
Mouse,
that being
mouse
said,
is in a pickle.
that being said, Rashad, you earlier hinted at that you were going to use your contacts in the area.
Yes.
Okay. So they know one thing. A vehicle, a car, has pulled up near Pride's. His general location. He's not hard to find if you want to find him, but maybe it's because he has very few reasons to keep hidden. But that being said, he does seem to have an out-of-towner coming in.
Okay. So, Captain, if you cannot think of anyone, might I give a suggestion?
Suggest a way.
All right, then. A couple of informants have told me that Pride has an out-of-towner. I want to look into it.
Like,
You
what
don't
kind
need
of
to-
out of town? Are we talking out of country, out of state?
There has been a vehicle that recently showed up, and it has a out-of-state license plate. I want to try to see what that license plate is, and potentially figure out who owns it. If we actually see the person there, the better. Because I'm quite curious to see what Pride or the Camarilla is bringing.
All right. Let's do that then.
Good. Follow me. But I think I'm gonna try to keep my distance. You are more suited for this reconnaissance.
I will remind you, Rashad, that Pride can see through the obfuscation.
Well, let's hope we're not caught by him.
Okay. So, if that's the case, then I'm going to ask you to make a roll. I need you guys to end up making me a... You can do either a wit stealth or a dex stealth. Your choice.
I'm going Dex.
Okay.
And would my urban outdoors count for this as
Yes,
well?
it would.
Okay.
I have no stealth, so I'm just going with.
Oh,
right.
no. No, I'm gonna willpower reroll one of those.
Ah,
Hey, 2. Good and solid. Alright.
I got 4.
Okay. You both start to approach what seems to be a... Well, you've both been here, if I recall. I know Mouse has, but... Rashad, is this your first time showing up at Pride's?
I think so, yeah.
So what you're seeing is a stairwell on the side of a building that goes down. There is actually a fire escape directly above it. And on the side of the building, this fire escape goes... Or this stairwell goes down. And it's almost like it used to be, one of those basement taverns way back in the, 1930s, 1940s. There's what seems to be an apartment building. Most of it seems abandoned, truthfully. But you do see a few individuals hanging around. You can see each one of them wears that same armband. Many of them come in, many of them come out. However, you do see one thing that is strange. It's an old Hyundai that has Minnesota license plates.
Definitely out of town.
Mouse probably wouldn't know this, but are there any major Camarilla cities in Minnesota?
Not that Mouse would know, but roll me both of you wits academics.
Academics, all right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have anything to do with art history, would it?
No, it wouldn't. This is a geography question. If you were to drive from Winnipeg to Detroit, and you were going through the south or northern states, you'd probably would come in from Minnesota.
Does it have a rental logo on it?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Even if it is a rental, usually, would I be able to get the rental information for that vehicle?
You might be able to. It would require you calling into the office and making a note, but certainly.
Okay. I'm going nonchalantly walking down the street with my phone acting like I'm texting someone. Gonna take at least snap a quick photo of the back of the vehicle to get the license. Well, I'm not gonna have the flash on, just like, so if someone like sees me, they'll be like, "Oh, it's just a random person walking in tech."
Quick question, Derek.
Yeah.
The rental vehicles that I saw Telly and Clay's both having, did they also have Minnesota plates?
Yes, they did.
Huh. Then yeah, I would draw that conclusion. That's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Would you both be able to roll me, or Mouse? So you're on lookout, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You can do wits or resolve awareness. Your choice.
And I recently took a specialty that I am good at sight in that regard. Does that apply?
Yes. So, you notice something, Mouse, that quite a few of the individuals in red armbands are making their way out from under there. But that's not the thing that catches or should raise your ire. The thing that should catch you is you end up seeing Pride.
Uh-oh.
Pride is starting to go on the move.
I am going to pull Rashad aside and...
Rashad's out on the street. He's walking past the car to take a snap photo.
Okay. He has his phone out. I'm going to pull out my phone, text him, red alert.
Stop and walk back to the other.
Would you be able to roll me a composure plus subterfuge. Rashad.
Okay.
You're trying to keep it together and not draw attention to yourself, but you can't hide from people, so you're going to have to end up keeping your cool.
I'm re-rolling that.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. He is looking around. He is the active, so he meets, he beats. Mr. Seraph, you are about to turn around and you're starting to walk, trying to end up keeping yourself calm and collected. And it's at this point you hear footsteps from behind you. They're a little quicker pace. They're still walking, but you don't know who's behind you unless you look.
Continue walking. Just like I'm minding my own business.
Alright. Mouse, what you see is that a few of these individuals start to come up, and they seem to be interested in the car. Pride, on the other hand, he looks around. And as he looks to Rashad, his eyes narrow a bit, and he starts walking towards Rashad.
Has he noticed me yet?
He doesn't appear to have.
Then I want to be nonchalantly following Pride.
Okay.
I want to look like I belong here.
Okay.
While I'm walking, I'm deleting my text message.
Okay.
At least from Mouse.
Yeah. And it's at that point I think you're going to end up finding yourself. Well, Mouse, you're not using your powers right now. You're just kind of hiding in plain sight.
Hiding in plain sight, walking kind of with the crowd, but keeping...
Okay. I need you to do composure subterfuge. Because you definitely don't belong here. Two. You know, if no one's thinking about it too much. Yeah, maybe you're just the new kid. You're the FNG. You know, who knows?
I don't even have an armband yet.
Yeah. But as you start to walk, Rashad, it's when you take that one turn, and you keep looking down at your phone, but when you look around, you realize that there is no one around. Which normally is a good thing. This time, not so much.
Huh. Can this fool go invisible?
Yeah. Well, you haven't turned around yet. You don't know who's behind you.
Continue to play my charade.
Alright. I need you to make me a... What would be it? Wits plus perception.
Okay.
So he's gonna end up...
As soon as I have the chance, I want to be going roofside.
Okay. Alright. Okay. So, Rashad,
Yep.
There is a high likelihood that this does not end well. Yeah. So right away, you hear the footsteps, and then you suddenly don't. And the reason you don't is you turn to look on like who's behind you, and you don't see anyone. All of a sudden, you walk into what you thought was a brick wall. And you kind of turn and realize that this maybe you have that awkward moment where you kind of like you turn around, no one's there, oof, and then you start kind of feeling that this brick wall is really well toned, and you might be getting an incidental hairpiece that you didn't need. That's a little scraggly, but well groomed. Well groomed. And you're kind of feeling like, please, yep, those are the shoulders. Yep, yeah, okay.
Oh no.
And you see Pride as he looks at you. You seem lost.
Yeah, taking a stroll.
No, you're not.
Oh.
Mr. Seraph, I'm not stupid enough to not know who you are. Especially given all your contributions.
How are those working out, by the way?
Quite well. So, I'm wondering, what brings you into this neck of the woods?
Taking a stroll. Like I said.
I got very little time for bullshit right now, so I can either end up getting out of you now, or I can get it out of you later. Mouse, you stop around the corner, and you can hear Pride starting to berate Mr. Seraph.
I mean, don't know what you really want. Like I said, I was taking a stroll. It might be Camarilla to you, but it's still Anarch to everyone else. Well, that is.
Are you saying that we're playing by Anarch rules, Mr. Seraph?
I mean, you would be playing by yours and we're playing by ours?
No. See, I play the same game that's being played with me. Now, you want to tell me that we're playing by Anarch rules, yes or no? Mr. Seraph, Anarch rules say I can do whatever I want to you right now.
Out of character. This isn't gonna go well.
No, it's not.
Okay. Yeah.
What's up? What is your response? Are you agreeing we're playing by Anarch rules?
I would be agreed.
Alright.
And if I see him go to move, this is gonna end well. I know it now.
I can see this.
You can see this.
I'm readying my pistol.
Alright.
Gonna say.
Now, the good news
Yeah,
here, Mr. Seraph, is you're not my problem anymore. You're not recognized as a domain holder here, so you're not my problem anymore. He slowly raises his hands and places his middle finger and his thumb together and holds it up fairly high. He's still watching you.
Have I gotten to the roof yet?
You are currently climbing up. I are you trying to stay hidden?
Yes, I am weight of a feather, so I don't weigh anything.
Okay.
Uh,
I need you to roll me your Dex plus Stealth.
All right. Plus or
if
min outdoors.
Yep.
if this probably isn't gonna end well either way, but
Yeah.
if I see his head come down to like smash me or anything like that,
Yeah. No, he
no.
is. If you didn't know any better, it's like he's about to snap his finger. Like he's about to signal something.
Huh. Okay. If it seems like he's doing anything harmful, I'm gonna try to just say beforehand.
Mr. I'll give you that courtesy. Try and be a good sport.
All right.
He slowly takes one step to the side and snaps his fingers.
Kind of stare at him for a moment.
I'm looking around. I'm looking for anyone who is also roofside.
Well, there's the problem. So that would be +4. Oh wow, you lucked out with a warning shot, but somebody's not gonna be happy with that. Okay. So 5, 1 success, carry 4 over, +4 for the rifle. So 9 damage, superficial, cut down to half. Rashad, if there is a fortitude ability you want to end up kicking off right here, you do need to end up making a roll to see if it activates in time.
Okay, let me see real. Toughness. So that is 1 round.
You get more hungry. That's certainly the case. But now you got to make the check. Because this was something that caught you off guard. You were waiting on pride, you were not waiting on an outside.
Okay, what would be the check?
If I recall, it would be with. Let me just double check here. But you're saying toughness, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, with toughness, thankfully. Oh no, you can just pull it off, so it doesn't need to be reactionary. So you're going to be taking 9 points of superficial damage, and your fortitude, if I recall, is 2.
Yep.
Okay, so you're bringing that down to 7. Then it's halved, so you'll be taking 3 points of superficial damage. Now, Mouse, from your perspective, you watch, you're readying, and what you hear, or more accurately, what you see, is Pride steps to the side, and suddenly there is a large splatter of blood all over the pavement as Rashad is hit by something. You see, he has to take like 2-3 steps forward, like he got hit in the back with a sledgehammer. It's then you hear this boom that comes from behind you. Probably almost a full second after you see Rashad hit.
Oh shit. Am I spotted? Does it look like I'm spotted?
Doesn't seem to be. The shot seems to have gone for Rashad first and foremost.
I want to unseen passage.
Okay. So right now, as far as everything else is concerned, this is going to be, if I recall, this is going to be a wits obfuscate roll for you.
Yep.
As to not reveal what the full details of what you're up against, I'm going to end up making a difficulty check more than anything. Okay, so you got the rouse check. You're good. You hide out and you kind of stay low, but you can see Rashad is heavily wounded. Rashad, you don't know what the hell just hit you, but you do know that right now you can see a portion of your intestines hanging out. The bullet fell low. It missed your heart. But you don't hear a gunshot. And then you hear the gunshot.
What? At that point, I'm just trying to put my guts back into myself.
Mm-hmm. I would say run, Rashad, but then you just go tired. Mouse, you are hidden as you are seeing Pride turn around and he just starts walking like nothing happened.
Where exactly am I?
You are, so try and imagine a T intersection, right? Now, Rashad has gone down the base of the T, right? Initially trying to get out of line of sight, and this is where he got sidelined by Pride. You are on the buildings across the street and above. And you heard a shot from behind you. More accurately, a significant distance from behind you.
Significant distance. Okay. So kind of like a sniper shot. All right. So I don't see this person that took the shot.
You do not see the person who took the shot.
Okay. So I don't know where they are.
No.
Does Pride look like he's walking away?
He is walking away.
I am setting up a position in which if he turns around and goes for Rashad himself, I'm going to prep myself for a headshot with the fire pistol.
Okay, you're gonna have some time to load, so we'll end up doing that.
He comes at Rashad, he's getting capped in the head.
Alright. Rashad, what exactly are you doing right now?
Okay. Can't even
all you know is that this hit you in the back.
Well, at this point, I need to walk away somewhere safe.
You're walking.
Okay.
I'm just want to be clear. You're walking.
You know, think running would be the best option, but I'm getting behind the building because I don't want to be out in the open.
All right. This is going to be your stamina plus athletics. See if you can make it in time.
Oh boy.
Now, plus side is you're no longer flat-footed, so
I only have two stamina. I don't have any athletics.
Oh no.
5, 6, 7. So that is going to be 11 points.
Bruh.
Now you reduce it by 2 because of fortitude.
Yep.
Right? So that brings it back down to 9. Then you half it, so now it turns to 4. So you take 4 superficial damage. As you start to end up making your way, and as you're making it through, you suddenly feel like as if somebody just wrapped a noose around your neck and yanked you. As you realize one bullet has hit a portion of your neck and is now taking out a chunk of your collarbone and shoulder out with it. There's a bit of your shoulder blade currently on the street.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you've taken another 4 points of superficial. Mouse, you have been focused on pride this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, he's still walking. He is not. It's like he is having none of this. And again, you see Rashad starting to panic, and as he ends up walking, you hear this, and Rashad gets put into pieces. You hear something really fast zoom by, and then you hear again another boom. And it is coming from behind you.
I am actively looking for this person now.
Okay. So
with my gun at the ready.
Okay. So right now, this is going to be okay, so I need you to roll me a wits plus awareness. And plus 1 for specialty. Oh, wow.
Bestial crit.
Okay. So, Mouse, you see, for the briefest of moments, you look around, and it's hard to see at night. It is very hard to see at night. There's a significant distance, and yet your eye catches something. You're looking at the higher rooftops from behind you, the deeper in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, starting to get outside of your territory or Hector's domain. And you see it just for a brief moment. A flutter, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure what it was. It might have been maybe a blanket or maybe a coat. You're not sure what the hell it was, but it seems to just settle. You seem to catch it just as it's settling. So it kicked up for some reason.
Okay. Would I have a guesstimate as to the distance?
If you had to guess that shot, mile and a quarter.
Holy shit balls. Okay.
You guys are not even in the same neighborhoods.
That's so far. Alright. Yeah. This person's got a scope or something. So, okay. So this person wouldn't even necessarily see me. I am staying low, but I'm going to try and get closer to where Rashad can hear me.
Okay. So you start making your way down the fire escape, using obfuscate.
Yes.
Okay, so you're trying to end up going low. Now you got to rush to get to him at this point. Rashad, you managed to get completely behind the building.
Actually,
oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna jump down the building using Wet of the Feather.
Okay, so you fall, and you're not landing too hard, so you don't even feel it, to be fair, and you start running full tilt, trying to end up here keeping. Well, shouldn't even say running, but you're trying to move, trying to stay to shadows, trying to stay out of this individual sight.
Right.
And Rashad, I think you're barely hanging together right now.
I am physically impaired, yo.
Yeah. You are hiding behind the building?
Yeah, I am barely alive. I cannot take another.
Mm-hmm. And it's at this point you don't hear anything. But you are shredded.
Oh.
Oh no.
I need to get out of here. I need blood bad. I can't even rouse to heal myself at this point either.
Mouse,
Mm.
What's your hunger at right now?
3.
Okay. So as you get to Rashad, you see all of this blood. You see all of this carnage that it was Rashad. And you can smell his blood on the wind. And that hunger starts to rile up.
Oh shit. Christ balls. Alright. What am I doing?
You're getting closer to food. He's weak. He's annoying, and he's a traitor. You say it yourself, he's going Camarilla. Take him out now. Come on. You can go with the feeding.
We're gonna get him out of here.
Save him for later. Come on, Mouse. You're never gonna have a better opportunity than this.
I am trying to push through that, and I am going to try and get Rashad out of line of sight for this sniper.
Okay. Well, he seems to be hiding behind a building somewhere, so you're not 100% sure what's going to end up happening at this point. But
Closest sewer grate is getting opened, and I'm shoving Rashad in it.
okay, well, as soon as you come around the corner, I'm going to need you to make a difficulty 3 frenzy check.
Okie dokie.
You have blood literally everywhere. He is wounded. He is a wounded animal right now. He is weakened. This is literally the best opportunity you have ever gotten to eat him.
Yes, my humanity is 5. Alright.
Oh, thank God.
Jamal, you are fighting against everything inside you as you start to push.
I'm better than that. I'm better than that. I am better than that.
You keep telling yourself that. Didn't stop you when you end up snapping that kid's neck just because, oh my God, he's got a better life. Just because you wanted to live and you're not even alive and you wanted to live one more day. So you took his entire future. You're better than that. Who are you
Shut
trying to
up.
fool? Who are you trying to fool, Mouse? Rashad, you are immediately finding yourself like hobbled, and before you can even blink, Mouse is lifting the lid and immediately ends up tossing you in. Like, you do not have the physical strength, I think, to fight him off. If he wants to put you down that manhole, you are going down that manhole.
Yeah, I can't fight that.
And I'm making sure to close it behind me.
Alright. Mouse. Rashad. You're in the dark. You're left alone. And Rashad, you are in a bad way yet again because of Mouse. Or whoever. It's kind of hard to think with a lot of blood loss. It hurts so goddamn much, you know that? Feeling bits of your bone that are chewing into your own skin and muscle trying to move along.
I need blood real bad.
How bad are we talking?
Really bad.
Maybe as good as Missy and I needed. How's she doing, by the way? You have a whole bunch just sitting there for you, ready when you want it.
No.
Oh, come on. What the fuck has she been doing other than eating up in your room in a goddamn tub?
I've worked to get her healed. I am not wasting that time.
You're a waste of time. Can't believe him. You're stuck with a sorry, sad sack like you.
Back in your cage. I will get through this like I always have.
That was a fucking bust.
He pride is faster than he looked.
What do you mean he's faster than he looks?
1 minute I heard footsteps. The next minute I turned around. Didn't see anyone. When I turned back around, he was right in front of me. Didn't even see him go around me. Unless he can become invisible or something, but I would have at least heard footsteps.
Do I know what Bruja are capable of, seeing as Gutter had a huge dislike for them?
Roll me a intelligence plus occult plus 1.
Well, there's 2.
He definitely ended up saying it's like trying to stop a bullet. Fast, powerful, hits things a lot. Seems to make sense.
That sounds about right. Fast and powerful, and you can't really stop him sometimes.
I should have trusted my instincts and stopped him before he snapped his fingers. What even hit me?
Sniper, I think.
Great. Yeah, I'm a sniper.
I may have saw something about 1.5 miles away. Somebody got range.
That's something we're gonna have to deal with eventually.
How do we fucking deal with a sniper? How do we fucking deal with a Bruja?
Get the right equipment. Thinking on it, how would someone deal with a sniper?
Having a sniper yourself, probably.
Now, if only you had somebody who was military.
Out of character? Oh no. We'll need to deal with this later. Right now, and I kind of can't even pick myself up. We need to go find something to eat. Because right now I can't even rouse to heal.
Oh boy. That's not good. That means you could snap at any minute. You wait here. I'm gonna go find something. Might not be to your liking, so I'm gonna have to have you trust me on that.
Alright.
And I start to walk away.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be searching for animals, because I don't want Rashad to fall victim to Flan.
Yeah, I'd imagine that'd be quite the inconvenience.
Yeah, it would.
But how are you going about this? Hunting in the sewers?
Yeah, hunting in the sewers for rats.
Alright. Roll me a... How long are you willing to do this? Is it a quick thing or something you're taking time for?
I'm gonna take as much time as I can because I want to catch as many as I can.
Okay, give me a Resolve plus Animal Kin.
Alright. Then I have specialty with rats.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay. That'll do it. You managed to find 2, so it might be enough. Might just be enough to end up getting something to eat.
Alright. Then I am making sure that they're as fresh as possible when I deliver them to Rashad.
Well, hopefully it holds out. Okay. Rashad, are you willing to end up taking this? You're going to need to spend 2 willpower, 1 for each.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't have him being a picky eater.
No, you can't. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Rashad, you bite into the rat, and you want to gag. The rat has been swimming in all manners of filth. The smell on its own, the fact that you're even considering biting into this is a sign of degradation of your blood, the height that no Toreador would ever let you live down. You sink your fangs into its wet, drenched fur. There is something slick, almost like motor oil, caught in its fur before you even start to draw blood. You are sipping down sludge water runoff from the streets, and God knows what else that's going down your throat as you are trying to drink down this blood. You are forcing back a gag reflex each time. It hurts so goddamn much just to hold this down, try and focus on the blood. You do manage to keep 2 points of blood, but dear God, this is damn near traumatizing.
My taste buds will never be the same again. Oh God, how do you Nosferatu eat this stuff? Ugh.
It's called an iron stomach.
Oh God.
Sometimes it's all you got. Can't be a fucking picky eater.
We never speak of this.
If you want to put a boon on it.
Fine.
Deal.
You jackass.
But I'm the best kind.
I'm using one of the blood I just got to rouse to try.
Alright, roll your rouse. Mouse, you watch as his bones, and this is painful to watch, his bones try and force themselves back into position. They're not healed, they're just kind of forcing themselves. Maybe muscle is growing around them just to hold them back into place. You don't really have much of a shoulder to speak of, Rashad. There's no hinge left in the joint, but you know it's coming together. There's parts where your skin is starting to grow back. You can feel your muscles oozing like they're liquid becoming solid form.
I have been in a very similar state.
It's enough to keep you moving, but this is a test.
So where do we get you back home?
I'm still too damaged to go back.
What are you suggesting?
Go to one of my warehouses. It has a room there that I can sleep in and no one will bother me. This is going to be a task.
Yeah. And I am going to lead him through the sewers in that direction.
Okay. You managed to end up making it. You know how to navigate this shallow end of the sewers. And you come across one of Rashad's warehouses. You come out of a manhole and start to look around, and you can see the warehouse.
100% keeping my eyes peeled.
Alright, would you be able to roll me a... Now, it's just you or Rashad. Are you coming out of the manhole with him right now?
I'm going to insist that he stay put for a second.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will take a gander.
All right. You see nothing. Nothing's out of the ordinary. At least not on the street level.
I'm looking at rooftops.
You don't see anything. There's a few fluttering clothes that make you nervous hanging from, laundry lines. You look up and you're trying to get, there's a lot of buildings that could see you from here.
Knowing my way around the city and knowing kind of where that shot came from,
No.
Is this the same direction?
No.
No.
You'd be going closer into main city. You'd be closer to downtown.
Where the shot was coming from, outside of Fitzgerald, on the other side.
It was. It was coming in from the east
North
side.
side?
East side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Cool. Then I will help Rashad out of the sewer and assist him in keeping out of sight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rashad, can you roll me a stealth real quick?
Okay. I don't have stealth, so what other?
Well, looks like you're going to be rolling straight dexterity then.
Okay.
Okay. Well, one success, if no one's paying attention to you, it'd just be quite easy for you to end up getting out this far. So you start. Go ahead.
Would he have an extra dice because I'm assisting him?
He would.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice, 2 successes. You're doing pretty well for yourself. You're climbing out. You try and stay low. You gain towards the warehouse. And as you can end up continuing on through this warehouse, or towards your warehouse, you open the front gate. And there, holding on to your wounded comrade, Mouse, you continue forward. And we end up having you get towards the front door. But you both see something. You see something very unnerving. Right there at the foot of the door is 2 very large bullet casings. Each one with X's and O's. Hugs and kisses. The 2 shots fired that ruined Rashad's body very much in front of you. The shooter was or is here.
Shit.
Fuck.
And it's at that point, Mouse, you get a sinking sensation. You're visible. You're hanging on to Rashad. And you are literally in the doorway, waiting. And that moment is forever. And somewhere in the distance, a bolt slides one more bullet into the chamber. A finger caresses a trigger.
Knowing
And down
this, is
sight.
there a way?
One sec. And down sight sees two kindred, whispering simply, which to choose, which to choose. And that is where we're going to end this session tonight.
Derek, why?
Ladies, somebody's taking a bullet when we start. No, ladies and gentlemen, we actually just got raided. Oh my god. We got raided and by the entirety of total party here, chill, and thank you very much for the raid. So to let everybody know what we do here, we end up writing Detroit by Night. The Motor City broke down, and one of the things I love to end up doing is I end up playing to my players, so I don't acknowledge chat too frequently while the game is running. But I want to welcome you all for joining us as we are left on a cliffhanger where Mouse and Rashad have been in the sights of a sniper, of someone from what they can presume is the Camarilla, coming to hunt them down. Every single week we've been running this. If we are now on episode 40, we managed to make the big 4-0. You know, we're... And very much, Vampire is a game of intensity. And I love playing to intensity. I love playing to horror. And if you enjoy horror, if you enjoy these little moments of storytelling and grim descriptions and seeing monsters trying to hang on to what little left that they have that's good, well, I invite you to join us. Very much. Hit that follow button. I appreciate it. Oh, Ghozdork, I assure you, I am the horror guy in a lot of tabletop RPG communities, so I would love to have you guys hang around. I'd like to introduce you both to Rashad Seraph and Mouse, being played by Volvo and Coffee Cat Presents, and we just ended up finishing the end of that session. I am so glad to have run into all of you, and you got a nice little cliffhanger for the next bit. So, guys, say hi to a whole new group of people. Thank you very much.
Good evening.
Hi, we're gonna die.
Hey, don't say that.
We're gonna die!
No, listen, okay? We will make it, okay? We just need to get in and shut the door, then die for our lives. We'll be fine.
Now,
all
right. Ladies and gentlemen, you also get to end up joining us in on a very interesting thing. So, when I reward experience, you might get a sense of the game when we do this. But, we offer one experience to each player for showing up. And then we actually have it competitive. Oh, Raven, I did. Thank you very much. We end up going over who had the best scene, who progressed the plot the furthest, who had the best one-liner, and then there is a fifth experience that can be awarded. But that fifth experience is entirely in your hands. Every viewer here right now can end up saying whether they want to give that bonus experience to Rashad or if they want to give it to Mouse. You can use whatever measurement you like. Whether you like the fact that somebody else is... Maybe it's your favorite clan, Nosferatu or Ventru. Maybe it's the voice acting. Maybe it's the play. Maybe you just like the name Mouse. Whatever your excuse, just throw in that vote, and there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have stains to resolve, but we do have a lot of blood stains all over the concrete right now, as Rashad has just eaten 250 cal bullets in the back, and he's not doing too well. I'm sorry to say. and it looks like a third is about to be fired. Nice part about Ventru, they are hardy. They're capable of taking it, and if it wasn't for Ventru fortitude, he'd be dead right now. Right now, he's just a walking corpse, same as any other kindred. So, welcome to World of Darkness, and welcome to Detroit. So, oh, quit crying, I haven't shot you yet.
You haven't shot me yet, but you're deciding to!
See? Shoot him, not me!
Yeah, please shoot them.
Him, not me.
Well, it's probably the cleanest shot they're ever going to get on Nosferatu, so... Yeah, might be. Depends. But, that being said, who progressed the plot the furthest?
I stormed out on ink.
Yeah, you kind of did. That kind of led to you guys getting shot in the first place.
Yeah, but if we hadn't gotten information out of Duke, we wouldn't have went to ink in the first place. Or
I still got the information out of Duke, though.
Mouse got you on 2 points there.
True.
You can give it to Mouse, or you want to roll it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually.
You want to roll it off?
No. Yep, let's do this.
Okay, so we have hit deadlock, so here's the way it works. They have to agree on high or low. We're going to roll a die. If they guess right, they both get the experience. If they guess wrong, nobody gets the experience. It is a gamble.
I'm making it Rashad's spot, so he decides.
Okay, so I'm feeling low.
You're feeling low?
Yep.
Mouse, you agreeing with that?
I'll go with it.
Oh, it's low! Both get experience.
Hello.
Hey!
There we go. Out of a D10, we end up getting one additional. Now, who had the best scene?
We were kind of tag team in all of the scenes.
Yeah, but everybody had their highlight moment. Rashad dealing with his getting shot, and Mouse is here storming out on Ink's generous offer.
Camarilla's fucking bullshit.
God's Dork, yes we do. Not all of them, unfortunately. But I definitely end up having them. And, just to end up putting a little bit of sweetener here, we're actually not done after this game. I'm going to take maybe a 5-minute break just to use the washroom and what have you. But we're going to start Vampire the Masquerade new workshop after this. So literally, it's almost like an AMA. I start with a topic, but any question you have to ask me about the game, about Detroit, about Vampire, I will do my best to answer. And we can kind of work through it. So if you're interested in playing, we can actually end up going over it, or how I end up doing this approach. So hang on for that. Now, Rashad, Mouse. We have who progressed the plot the furthest. Now, who do you...
Best scene.
Best scene? Who is it? Are we doing another roll-off?
I'm throwing my hat in the ring with me bullshitting pride, okay?
Bullshitting pride? You didn't even do that very well.
Yeah.
Listen,
He failed at it, but it was interesting.
Why you even try, bro?
because... Listen, okay? If I am going to stare down a wall of flesh that will kill me either way, I am at least going to say something to the...
Alright. So, high or low, gentlemen?
I'm gonna give it to Rashad.
You're gonna give it to Rashad? Okay, no roll-off. Okay, so, comes down to the last one that you guys have over it. Or what say you do have. Best one-liner.
Lead the way, Captain Mouse.
It was good. It was good. Like, you want to call the shots, big man? Go ahead, Captain. Where do we go from here? I have no idea. Come on, Captain. Mouse got called out so goddamn hard.
He did. He did. He did. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna give it to Rashad for that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we end up having 1 vote Mouse, 1 vote Pride so far. We got 2 votes Rashad, 1 vote Mouse. So, if you have any other votes you want to end up saying in, for any reason, between these 2 characters, who do you pick? I want to end up seeing the chat light up and end up giving us a few votes in as far as who can end up getting this last experience. Either way, you can't be wrong. So, we got, Naughty's already ended up done Rashad. Marrowblade is going with him Mouse. We end up having Black Wolf going Rashad. So it looks like it's leaning towards Rashad right now. I'm going to give it a few minutes. So, gentlemen, anything else that you want to end up saying on this? Any thoughts on where this is going?
We're gonna die.
We gonna die?
We're gonna die.
Hey, don't
You gonna die.
listen here, okay? Don't you dare put them negative vibes around me, okay?
You gonna die.
No, I will live. We will live, okay? Even if I have to push your face into the door, we just go live.
Look, only one of you is capable of taking a 50 cal to the face and remotely surviving. Just to put that into perspective for you, Mr. Seraph.
This is true.
Look, Raven gives it, so that is 3 votes Rashad, 1 vote Mouse. We're going to give it to Rashad tonight. So congratulations, Rashad. You've earned the audience XP. So congratulations to that. So
I feel so loved.
All in all, though, what did you think of this particular session?
Very
I
interesting.
absolutely love it.
Mouse is definitely Gutter's child.
Yeah, storm out of conversations and stuff. How dare
Okay, I wanna be badass. Okay, let's introduce them to badass then. Yeah. Yeah. You've never dealt with the Scourge before, have you?
No. Oh man. It's at times like these that Mouse is like, oh, I wish I had Gutter's help. I wish I had Gutter's advice.
Yeah. You know, you think celerity would make for the better shooting discipline? It's not. It's good. It's not the best, though. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, okay. I'm going to quickly turn off the stream. I'm going to turn it back on. We're going to run right into Vampire the Masquerade Workshop. I'm just going to end up pouring myself a drink, and we'll be back in 5 minutes, alright? So, I hope to end up seeing you soon. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
We gonna die.
We
will
gonna
live.
die.
We gonna die.